Hi, so today I will be demonstrating our first solution using failover groups to provide high availability and disaster recovery for a fictional logistics company. What is failover groups? Failover groups is a feature from Microsoft Azure that allows us to manage the replication and failover of the logistics company's database that is on a logical server located in a primary region to a logical server located in a secondary region. The things to be aware of: endpoint redirection. The failover group functionality known as endpoint redirection allows us to create a read-write listener endpoint that remains unchanged during failover operations. So the company's applications and their customers won't have to specify a different database connection string in the event that a disaster occurs. So what did we do in terms of failover policy? We are making use of Microsoft's managed failover policy instead of the customer managed failover policy. If there is an outage that impacts the company's database logically contained within their primary region, Microsoft will initiate a failover to the secondary database hosted in the secondary region. With automatic failover, we are required to specify a failover with data loss grace period minutes value, and we made that value the minimum value 60, meaning we can't go any less than that. Yeah. Jumping straight into our parameters file, our uh, secondary location for this solution will be the UAE North region, and our database SKU will be the general purpose generation 5 version 2 SKU, tier general purpose, and our primary um, location will be Austria East. Okay, with that in mind, let's go to our main bicep file for the solution. Scrolling down, taking a look at what we are deploying. So firstly, we are creating a resource group. This will be used to contain all of our resources. And then it's also important to note that wherever the location of this resource group is, the metadata of the resource group will be contained within that specified region. And then next we have the Azure Key Vault. So Azure Key Vault can be used to store secrets. In this case, we have one there. Then we are creating a secret within the previously created Key Vault. However, since we are deploying it within this file, bicep file, we cannot reference the password that we are creating for the SQL Server admin login details. Next up, we are creating the logical SQL Server instance, the primary one. And after that, we are running a for loop uh, over the secondary locations, of which currently there's just one. And then we are creating the secondary SQL Server instances. After that, we are creating the primary SQL database. And then we create the failover group deployment, specifying the primary database name, the primary SQL server name, and then the secondary SQL server name, which in this case is logistics SRV back UAE North. Okay. To deploy our example, we can type in the command az deploy and subscription level create, and then we are going to pass in the location. So our primary location is Austria South. Yes, no, Austria East. And then our bicep template file. That file will be the solution1.main.bicep, and our parameters will be test.solution1.bicep param. Okay. What happened there? AZ deployment sub create location Austria East template files solution1.main.bicep meters parameters solution1 this.solution1.bicep param. Okay. Okay, so this will take a while. Okay. With that now out of the way, let's go to the Azure portal. Go to resource groups. Let's open a new query instead of following the easy way. And then opening a query where we select resources within our resource group, and where the name does not contain master. This way we don't see the master database because we don't need to see that. Okay, running the query gives us these results. Something that we may want to go and look at now is the logistics server, but let's just go over what we have. We have the key vault, we have the SQL server instance, we have the primary one, then we have the secondary one, then we have the secondary database created when we created the failover group, then the primary database that we created. Okay, so let's go and view the logistics server details. Okay, from here we can go to the data management section, then failover groups. Here we can see we have the failover group logistics SRV-FO fog for failover group. The primary server, as indicated, logistics SRV, secondary server back UAE North, that is correct, and then our failover policy, Microsoft managed, also correct, grace period 60 minutes, and database count is 1. We open the view, just give it a second. Okay, it's not showing the pretty pictures at the moment. Guessing that will take some time, but it's deployed. Okay, thank you for watching.